Hello and welcome back to Blackfeather Guild. So today we're doing I believe it's the fourth episode of the Void Cavalcade. Our crew got their ship, and they've been working on what they want to put it in and everything like that. So I'm excited to see what they do. Now that they sort of have all these toys to play with, so to speak. But before we jump in and meet the cast and jump into all the story and everything, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about viewer actions and how you can actually participate in the show and in the story from the audience. There's a lot of really cool ways that you can do that. One of the ways, I'm just going to type this in over here. There it is in chat. One of the ways that you can do so super easy is just by interacting with the game tweet. So for every 10 interactions, that's likes, retweets, and comments. A D4, or equivalent for whatever system we're in at the time, goes to the cast and to the DM or Game Master to be used on any roles that they would like. And the cool thing about that is a lot of times when you're playing tabletop games, you'll be a couple of points off from a DC or difficulty check. So like if you roll just a couple numbers higher, you would succeed. Well, a D4 thrown in at just the right time can help with that. So every 10 interactions on the tweet puts one of those dice into the pool for the cast and the DM, and then they can just pull from that pool at any point. Other ways that you can get involved are through guild coins, and that is our Twitch channel points. If you look at the Twitch chat box, right below that you'll see a little round rainbow-colored icon. It's got the Blackfeather crest on it. You click on that, it'll tell you everything that you can use guild coins on. There's quite a few options. But one of the coolest ways that you can use them is for plot points. And you can see that right over here, the different quantities and everything. And it lets you do anything from an inconsequential plot effect all the way up to a major one, which is essentially the difference between, say, renaming a business that they run into in the game, or maybe naming a future NPC, all the way up to giving somebody something that they critically need at just the right moment, or even taking something away from them that they critically need in that moment, if you feel like hindering the cast rather than helping. There's a lot of different things that you can do with those. There's a full description in the panels down below, or if you click on each individual one in that guild coin menu, it'll tell you a full description as well. It is important to note that while we will try to stick as close as possible to what you are trying to do with those, the Game Master does have final say. They may edit it a little bit to make it fit a little bit better if it's going to throw things off too badly or be game breaking. So do keep that in mind. But like I said, we do try to stick as close as possible to what you suggest. Finally, there are a couple other options for participating, and that is donations. There's 3 different ways that you can do so. You can do so through coffee.com/Raven, Raven.rocks. You can see those addresses down there at the bottom of this panel, right next to me. You can also do subscriptions and bits. Currently we are, I believe, at 37% of our total monthly goal for subscriptions and bits. But we're only, I believe, $25 away from a payout from Twitch next month, which is super, super helpful for the channel and helps me do a lot of more stuff with more predictable income. So if you don't have a preferred way to donate, that way would be super good for today. And then finally, you can do Patreon, which our Bard tier patrons and higher tiers get credits towards viewer actions every month. And the cool thing about that is, in addition to getting the other Patreon benefits, content and things like that, the total amount that you subscribe for is the amount you get in viewer action credits. So it's kind of like getting the action credits for free. So very cool stuff. All of those actions are right here. Some of them are self-explanatory, but some of them that might not be are perhaps like the switch or the complication. So I'm going to run through these real quick before we jump into everything. D4 and the D6 are added to any roll, just like we talked about before. The switch allows someone to change the verb of someone else. So to give you a classic example, if you have a bard in the party and they want to seduce the dragon, and their fellow party members are like, I'm so tired of the bard trying to seduce everything, they could throw out a switch and say, change seduce. And the bard would have to choose something that's not synonymous with seduce. So it couldn't be something like flirt or wink at or et cetera, et cetera. So it's a fun way for the DM and players to nudge the story in different directions. Advantage and reroll means that you roll twice and take the better of the two results. The only difference being an advantage has to be used before you roll, whereas a reroll can happen after the fact. So rerolls are a little bit more powerful. They can cancel out a nat 1, for example. So the rerolls are pretty handy. Complication is a lot like the plot points, except you can do 1 to 3 sentences of anything that you want to add to, change about, or remove from the scene. Again, the game master may edit it a little bit or throw out some concepts entirely if it's something like, the big bad evil guy of the whole season falls over dead all of a sudden. Obviously that would break the game, so we couldn't do that. But within reason, we'll stay as close as possible to what you suggest in the complication. Swapping 2 players for 5 minutes means they will swap characters. And that includes the DM, so you could have the DM playing somebody's character and that cast member DMing for 5 minutes. It's pretty cool. It's always a laugh. I really enjoy that one. And then finally, the 1-up. If a character would die or go unconscious, then rather than that happening, they will come back with 1 HP or the system equivalent to 1 hit point. So if there's a character you really want to make sure survives and lives through the whole season, that is a great way to give them that extra fighting chance when things get tough. And I think that is everything. So we're going to go say hi to the cast. I'll hand it over to Jay to run the show, and then I will see you all at the end of the show. Here we go. Take it away, Jay.
Well, hello, everyone. It's Jay. I am a GM here on the Blackfeather Guild, as well as a few other places. And today we're going to be running the 4th session of Void Cavalcade. So the ship's crew, last we met, they got their ship running. They went out to go and help what seems like a derelict ship, possibly a in need of rescue, or if there's no one around, it's going to be salvage. So let's meet the crew. Starting from top left, Econorlax, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you're playing today?
Hi, I'm Econorlax. I'm mostly on Twitch here at Blackfeather Guild or on Twitter, also as Econorlax, either talking about TTRPGs or playing them. And today I'm playing Mips. Mips is the weird but friendly alien medic who will be happy to take a blow for their friends. Because, well, I'm a tank also.
How we get him in the ship, no one knows. Polished.
Hi, I am Polished, and I play Autumn in this campaign, who is a sentient birch tree in a roughly humanoid form.
It's always fun to hear you explain that. No matter how many times I hear it, it's always just a touch different. Darkora.
Hi, I'm Darkora. Tonight I'll be playing Eva Maddock, a sentient human engineer.
So the sentience really important in there. Some people forget
it's crucial. Yeah.
Quality for the engineer.
Jem.
Hi, my name is Jem, and I'll be playing as Luna, an anthropomorphic bee who wants to know, do you like jazz?
We're just going to keep pushing that one. And finally, Chavi.
Hi, I'm Chabi. You'll see me as Hallway Secrets here on Twitch, Hallway 7 Secrets over on Twitter. I will be playing Willem Sizer, the totally human pilot, who's currently 100% not freaking out, I promise.
Just before we started, Chavi had a wonderful background image on Zoom.
It'll come back.
Okay, good. So yeah, let's just roll straight into it. I'll give you a quick recap of what had happened. You got your ship working, the Ventus. I believe you didn't change the name of it.
Not yet.
And it turns out it used to be part of an old caravan, kind of one of the biggest and well-known caravans, the Iron Maiden. This ship has been through a lot, but over the course of about 2 weeks, you got it running and running smoothly, I might add. You even got about halfway through building a hydroponics bay, as well as a few other additions. And you made accommodations for not only some of your crew, but all of them. So you have on your crew Tolis, Tychus, Wirrin, and I always forget the other one. Fred, thank you. I don't know why that's the one I forget. Fred and Wirrin, and also Yurt. So you've got a fairly diverse, interesting crew with you. Tolis specifically isn't my favorite, but that's just because I get to be silly. So when you got out kind of into space, you got off of Tartarus, you checked the pads boards, kind of like an interstellar Kijiji or Craigslist, and you found that there was an emergency broadcast, kind of an SOS signal out in space. And you decided to go and check out whether they needed help or if it was a derelict, whether you could salvage from it. You then took I think it was about a 6 or a 5 day journey, kind of northeast on the board, and found a debris trail. You then spend the better part of a day tracking it down, and you found the spinning derelict cruiser, the Orange Blossom. And it looks as though it had been damaged by plasma fire. Quite sizable plasma fire, probably of the same class of ship. This cruiser is, compared to your Free Merchant, which is pretty big, this cruiser is gargantuan. If we were to compare it car-wise, you're a sedan, this thing is a semi. So you docked with the ship. You got inside, you found there were life signals throughout some of the decks, so clearly some of the crew had survived, though some sections of the ship are without atmosphere. The lower deck specifically, deck 7, has a breach in it and has no oxygen or atmosphere in it. You then found through, I believe, the engineering deck, deck 5, a Cordinian baked onto the hallway. You managed to scrape them up and put them into a container, while Autumn and Ava went down into the engineering section to start the engines again. You got a couple of them running. You got power and gravity right back on. And that's when the signals started changing. The Cordinian signal disappeared completely. Some of the other signals that weren't moving at all are now moving with great haste. So we're going to start there. Ava and Autumn, you are both in the engineering room, kind of where the big turbines and engines are. And Meeps and Luna, you're both back in the hallway where the Cardinian was. And Will, I believe you're still on the ship. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, just so I have a sense of where everyone is. Excuse me for a moment. Apologies. So, the life signals have just disappeared, and Yurt confirms on the sensors that the Cordinian is no longer being tracked on the sensors. But you also notice something on the command deck scuttling with kind of incredible speed, given the shape of it. It looks roughly humanoid, but it's moving at a good clip.
Control is deck 2, right?
Control is deck 4.
Deck 4, okay. And do I know where they are?
They're a deck above that on deck 5.
Okay, they're all on deck 5. Okay.
Yeah.
How far is what do we talk? Are we talking hallway leading to the engineering? So we are close to the rest of the party, me and Luna.
Yeah. You're maybe 5-10 minutes away from the other crew, like at most.
Yeah, so I see all this activity going on, and that definitely is a large red flag. Hey, noticed you got some power going. That's the good news.
Yes, I hope there's no other news.
Remember some of those things we saw in the control deck on the sensors? Yeah, they're moving.
Oh, joy.
Do I have a sense of where they're moving to?
One of the one that's on deck 4 looks as though it's kind of moving towards what you would think either is the bridge, but it's also heading towards the grav lift. So it could be going to either, but it is going, if we're going like east-west, east is towards kind of the back of the ship, west is towards the front. It's going towards the front, going west.
Well, it's either heading towards the bridge or possibly to you. I'll keep you posted.
Great. I suggest we regroup then.
Yeah.
Let's hurry back to the others.
Sure. Yeah. You meet up back with Meeps and Luna. The Cordinian is now in a box as opposed to surrounding the hallway. There's a few little specks here and there, but for the most part, you've cleared it off. The ship it's not as noisy as you would think, but you can tell, bits are running, the air is flowing, things like that.
Okay.
Mips is dropping some tranquilizer medicine, sedative, that was the word I was looking for,
Gotcha.
into the container, and announces, I'm done here.
Okay.
Okay.
That was quick.
So, do we make contact with these life signs?
I get the impression they're probably going to make contact with us. How enjoyable for us that contact might be, I could not tell you.
I mean, we don't know if they are the ones who attacked or were attacked.
Correct.
Do we have any idea of what kind of crew would have been on this ship?
You could certainly run a scan for it.
Right.
Most ships are registered with kind of, either the pad or with other groups. So you should be able to look it up somewhere. Whether the people on this ship are the same people, that's debatable. But you could either access it on the ship itself from Deck 4, on the kind of communications or sensors or things like that. You might be able to pull it up in here as well, now that the terminals are running.
I'll give it a go from here just to sort of get a better idea of what we might be dealing with.
Sure. I'd say roll me a program just to see if you can access through the systems.
Ooh, that's only a 9.
Ooh, okay. You don't get the full information. It looks like there's some corruption and some things are just locked out. But you get a sense that the crew here was about probably 35 to 40 individuals. And from the life signs you're seeing, they more or less match. You don't necessarily get IDs on them, but they could fit. The signals you're getting, for the most part, look like they could fit with the standard crew.
Okay, cool. Well, it might not be a giant monster. Could be.
If they were victims of the attack, they may need medical help. If they are the attackers, MIPS being in front would also be a good idea.
Can we access the ship's comm system?
Let's go to meet them.
You could certainly try. Go ahead and roll me another program on that.
Do we want to talk to them?
What would we say?
Hi, we're the ones who turned on the power?
Yeah, worth a try.
Friend Willem,
no harm.
Where are they now?
That's to you, Will.
Jay, where are they now?
Where are they now? That's a good question. Roll me a. You know what? Actually, I won't even roll you. Roll Yurt's roll. 2d6, not d10. What system am I even running? Ooh. Well, it looks like one of them's going towards the bridge or the grav lift. And Yurt kind of points towards the screen like, do you see this reading though? It's all veiny. So on deck 3, you know that one of the life signals is kind of pulsing almost across the entire deck from one center bit. It's a little, it's not quite the center of the deck, but it's from one source most of these readings are coming out from. It's like it's taken up the whole deck. I don't know what's going on with that. There's someone on deck 2 though. That's humanoid. That could be like a human or maybe an Amadryar, but yeah. And then this thing, and they point towards deck 4. This signal keeps going further and further, and you notice it looks roughly humanoid, So it's probably human or possibly even I can't remember what the name of the bee folk are. I'm so bad at this. But
Adrian, I
it
think.
doesn't look odd. It just looks quick. So deck 4, deck 3, and deck 2. And then there are some fuzzy, weird, like static readings almost on deck 6, but you can't quite get a fix on what they are.
And we're 5.
You're on deck 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. The signal from the Cordinian, however, it's just gone off of the radar. So if you want to access the comm systems, feel free to roll me a program. And if anyone wants to aid on that, roll that as well.
Is there a way I can help with that remotely? Try to kind of hack in on our end?
Yeah, I would say you could. Yeah, roll me a program on your end, Will, and then whoever wants to hack into the comms on your end in the ship, go ahead and roll that as well.
And would you say that my hacker focus applies here? This is when attempting to hack a database or computerized system, I roll 3d6, drop the lowest.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yep.
Okay. Wondering if I should just do it manually or roll program and then roll an extra d6.
Do we both have the same?
Yeah, if you honestly just roll, just like straight up roll 2d or 3d6.
Yeah.
And then we should be able to see what the numbers are.
I was trying to roll program and then that didn't work for some reason. But and I have
roll
a
20 slow today.
True. And then I have a +3 total to program.
Okay.
So that's a 10.
That's 10. That's not bad at all.
You can edit your character sheet to use the free dice. I have it working for me with healer skills.
Cool.
So
yeah, I have it working for fix.
So we'll go.
You can also have a task. But
yeah, you can roll your end as well, Autumn.
Do I add anything or?
Yeah, I would say add int or probably just int on this one.
Okay.
And bonus for Willem's.
Yeah, that's what I was. How much is it? 1 point or?
Okay.
Well, go ahead and roll your aid first, Eva, or whoever's aiding.
That was
your first.
That's
was
what Will was.
Oh,
doing.
I see it now. Sorry. That's my bad.
So 10 gives me, is that 1 or 2?
That would be a 1. Yeah.
Okay.
I run this system every week. I really should know. Okay, so an 11 plus 1. Oh, that's including.
That's with the +1. That's
Gotcha.
the total.
So not quite a 12, but with an 11, you hack into it. You've got a reasonable connection. You suspect it's going to the rest of the ship. There's not really any downside to it. But it's weird. Something's you hear a little bit of feedback from it, not noise feedback specifically, but almost like a voice, kind of like you're listening in on a quiet conversation.
Okay. What's the conversation? Do I catch anything?
You hear little snippets, kind of almost like someone talking to themselves, but using different voices. There's little backs and forths. You hear little bits of an argument. You hear kind of like a poignant back and forth between two people. You hear a crowd just kind of cheering and then screaming. It's weird little bits. It's almost like someone chopped up a week's worth of dialogue and it's all being played kind of over each other. It's not very loud. It's almost like a background to the comm system.
Do I have any idea of what might be causing this?
Roll me a no. You might have an idea.
With
with
do I get
or charisma?
Okay, let's try intelligence. 10?
10? Yeah. You think this might be a buffer. You think that something was recording all of this audio, and now that power's back on, the buffer's just playing everything back kind of en masse. And sure enough, about a minute later, all of that audio slowly trails off, like all the clips basically end. and the comm lines are clear.
Do we want to make contact?
Worth a try.
What do we say? Damage report doesn't quite do it.
Would I know if there's a way to like localize who we're trying to contact? Like,
Yeah, you can specify which
only
deck you
broadcast to a
want on.
specific
yeah,
deck. Yeah.
apparently.
Is it worth trying just the the recognizably human signal that we saw on deck 2?
Yeah, I would try deck 2. That seems more likely friendly.
I mean, humans are pretty awful.
Can confirm.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, can confirm. It's fine.
Humans are
Like,
good.
hi, we got the power back on. What is your status?
Yeah. Do you want to talk if it's a human?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So you open up comms to deck 2.
Autumn's a bit
I like,
weird
oh,
about
just like,
talking to
here you
humans.
go.
But I fixed it. Now you talk.
So what do you say?
Greetings, deck 2. We've restored the power, the main system power. Please confirm your status.
Who is that? How did you get on board?
I'm a space
Ask if
engineer,
they need-
and I'm a
ask if
space
they need
engineer.
medical help.
Do you require medical assistance?
I'm. No. No one can get on the ship. We locked out everything.
Not everything.
You can't.
The
can't
ship's
fool
like
me.
pretty. It's like holes. It's like holes in the ship, though.
Yeah, there's definitely holes in the ship. No, Aaron, you can't fool me that time. Listen, I locked out deck 2 for a reason. You stay where you are. You don't come near me.
Wait, who's
Okay,
Aaron?
Then. Sure.
With that bit of information and having access to crew
Mm-hmm.
details before, who are they talking about? Or who do they think they're talking to?
When you look back through the records, you notice there is an Aaron Falstetter. They are one of the human crew members, and they were one of the comms engineers.
Tell them we're not Aaron.
I don't think it's going to be
I-
that easy.
yeah.
Do we want to try one of the others?
I guess. Try another deck. The next most humanoid.
Okay, next most humanoid is probably deck 4. So
I
that's
forget,
the
were there
command.
one or two entities on the command deck?
There's one on the command deck.
Okay.
And it's still moving with quite a good pace towards the bridge. You think,
I
given
mean,
the
it's a
size of the
logical
ship,
place to run to.
5
Is
to 10
it-
minutes.
Kind of confirmed that they're not beelining towards the grav lift yet, or are they still in the
It's
same
still
general
unsure.
direction?
So
Okay.
going down command deck, it's like grav lift is here, and then a little further in is kind of the bridge. So
Okay.
they could be going either way.
All right.
And
So
that was
Will would
deck
be
4.
tracking that thing until it's known where they're going.
Okay, I'll keep you updated.
Attention, deck 4. We have recovered power. Do you require medical assistance? And what is your status?
You hear thump. Dum, 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 dum.
What in the?
I'm sorry I asked.
Forgive me for phrasing this question in such way, but MIPS lacks point of reference. Friend Eva, would you say they meet human criteria for madness?
The first, potentially yes. The second, I'm not sure even meets human criteria.
That meets human criteria in eyes of MIPS.
High standards.
Okay. I'm not sure what we need to do now.
Mips is doing a thorough scan of the atmosphere for potential environmental hazards in vein of hallucinogenic gases, spores,
Okay.
and so on.
You as you're scanning it, you don't notice any potential dangers. There's no radion gas or anything like that. But you do notice the air quality in here has changed rapidly over the last couple of minutes. And not in a necessarily bad way, but the makeup of it is different. You notice more argon in the air, not large amounts, but larger amounts than there were. And you also notice there is a growing percentage of hydrogen in the air.
Hydrogen and argon.
I refer the results to the crew.
Okay.
This is not something I'm familiar with.
Can I think of any mechanical process that would cause that?
Roll me a no.
No. Submit. Int. Go. 7.
7? Nothing you can think of should make this. Not on a cruiser this big, anyway. Like, if it was making this, you'd think the rise in percentage would be quite quick. But a slow
function.
It's odd.
I'm searching my knowledge for biological reasons for that.
Sure. Roll me a no as well.
I mean, I can try, but I don't think I would know anything.
13.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, you're up 13.
Oh,
I'll do
double
it.
6. Nice.
Ooh. Okay, and then if you want to roll one as well, Autumn, let me know what yours is, and then I'll tell you what you know.
It's a 9.
9?
Probably
Okay.
not much.
You don't know quite what it is, but it's... You all have your suits on, right? Nobody's taking a helmet off?
I don't think so.
As far as I recall, nobody had taken their helmets off.
Yeah, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We got a hand raised.
Looks
Hold on.
like they might
You
have.
do? Oh,
I've took my glove off.
you took your...
Oh,
glove
right.
off.
To
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing.
So you
And
know...
criteria for respiration.
It's difficult to say. With your biology, it's difficult.
No,
to say.
I say it meets.
Oh, it
definitely
does. Oh, it does actually meet it. Okay, well, good to know. Thank you for letting me know. Autumn, you haven't experienced this mix before. You don't. It seems probably more biological though than
Oh.
mechanical.
Yeah.
Meeps, you actually know what this is, and you know it because you actually have a crew member on your ship that exhibits the same output. This is Arcadian biology, basically. They're made up mostly of hydrogen and argon. Why that's in the air, though, you're not sure.
Well, deck 3. Did you say there was one that was spreading and pulsating?
There is. There's one on
yeah.
deck 3.
What if it's an Argonian? I mean, they without a suit.
But I will put the glove on back now.
I don't want to casually inhale another.
don't want to breathe them. Yeah.
Bad guy smoke. Don't breathe this.
Get the virus.
Can they talk like verbally without a suit?
It's difficult, but they can. It's kind of more like intonations than actual words, but yeah, there's a way to do it. It's pretty hard to, unless you
Can
know.
we
what
try to
you're
find a suit for them to?
Yeah, you could easily try to find a suit. Yeah.
Should we make that our next destination then?
We might want
The
to
suits are probably on
chat
deck
via
6 or
comms
7.
as well.
We might
them.
want to put
Yes.
them in like a vacuum cleaner.
Like, I mean, they might not be able to say much, but yes or no to do you require medical assistance would be.
Sure, yeah. And the Argonian is which deck?
The Arcadian, as
Wait,
far as
Arcadian,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I was going to wonder.
Argonian is something completely
Yeah,
different.
very
I don't know
different.
why that got my head.
There are no lizard people on the ship.
No last teammate.
Arcadian, sorry.
So yeah, you know that the signal you're looking at that's kind of spreading out is on deck 3.
Can we stop the atmosphere circulation? I mean, we restored it, but can we just turn it off?
You
Or,
could,
yeah, turn it down on that deck.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay.
You'll have to roll
might-
that for it, but yeah.
It might be wise to turn off the exchange of the gases in the systems.
Sure.
So what deck do you want to stop it on, or do you want to stop it altogether?
At least keep it going on the deck with the crazy guy.
Okay.
Deck 2. And maybe just turn off the
Just
like
put them in the
external
bag.
circulation on the other decks.
Okay. So they'll
So
keep
that
their own like air.
They're their own
Yeah.
closed circuit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll me a fix. Yeah, that'll be a
Can
fix.
I assist?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I had to
all
find a
good.
bit of a cough there naturally.
All the Arcadia in the air.
Yeah. It's an 8.
Okay, an
with the
8.
assist roll.
You'll have a +1. Yep.
Nice.
Bloody Eva. Yeah, you can do that. Easy piece. You
Okay.
you reroute all the systems and you make sure everything's not circulating except for deck 4.
Sure.
And one question from
Mhm.
Mips. Do I know something of cases? Because it's a typical thing for Mips species, so Mips would think about it. Can Argonian communicate with somebody who inhaled the Argonian? Or affect another way?
Since you got a 13, I'll tell you. Yeah, it's not quite communicating, but Argonians can. It's a strange thing. For you, Cordanians, it might not be as odd. It's more of a chemical exchange than anything. So they can do a chemical exchange to give very simple answers. Yes, no, I don't know, things like that.
So they can affect the cellular body that has inhaled them.
Yeah, exactly. Though it's not advised because breathing in an Arcadian usually isn't. Usually your lungs don't quite like it. Breathing in hydrogen and argon is not exactly
Yeah.
a breathable atmosphere.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Mips has a
Hang on,
theory.
we have a freaking Arcadian.
You do.
and maybe it's worth asking. Is it easier for them to communicate?
That's worth a
Uh,
shot. Yeah.
And can inhaling them make humans mad?
There are a lot of things
I-
that inhaling makes humans mad, so I wouldn't put it off.
Mips either.
Yeah, so if you're asking Yurt back on the ship, she kind of goes like, I mean, it's easier for us to communicate, obviously, when we're outside of our suits. So, I can come aboard and try to give a hand. Where are you seeing this though? Because that thing on deck 3, that doesn't look Arcadian at all. It's too solid.
Huh.
Sorry, my brain just keeps calling them Argonians.
I
now.
know. I'm not gonna correct it. It's fine.
Well, maybe if they were made of neon or xenon, not argon, that would be easier.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Unions.
Yeah.
Can we get an atmospheric reading on what's going on that deck
Yeah, sure.
in some way?
That was ominous.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. no
Go for
worries.
it.
You know what? I won't even make you roll for that. Your ship's sensors detect an abundance of oxygen. And there's also other trace elements in there that probably shouldn't be on a starship. They're not harmful, but they just don't have, they're more like a planet reading than a ship reading.
So there's oxygen, but we have the environmentals turned off on that
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah, but it's definitely higher oxygen concentration on that deck than any other.
Right.
If that is not an Arcadian, maybe it's something more up your alley, Aton. some
Okay,
plant form of life.
Crazy
That's
thought.
less spreaded.
There's a pretty high concentration of oxygen on deck 3, and what we're seeing looks like veins or roots.
Does it look like that to me? Because I have a feeling she would recognize a
Yeah,
root
if you
system.
pull up, if you transfer kind of sensors from the ship to engineering,
Yeah, I'll just send her a screenshot. Just boop.
yeah, basically, oh, there you go. Upload it to the cloud. It does look remarkably like a plant. Like it follows the same kind of root structure that you're familiar with.
Is it possible then that whatever plant that is absorbed whatever life was originally on that deck, including an Arcadian and various other things? It's kind of aggregated them together.
It's possible. I don't know if they were asking me or the crew. Sorry.
Asking that out loud in general, to be honest.
I don't know. It would be an unusual way of obtaining sustenance.
Most of what I've seen today has been unusual, so...
But let's consider it critical to maintain the isolation.
Yeah, let's keep the
Of
decks
our
isolated.
suits.
Do I know if I would be able to... well, I can't know for certain, but if there's a likely chance of me being able to communicate with a plant, if it has some sort of...
You might get like simple answers out of it. You won't really get any conversation, but you might be able to tell, oh, okay. You'll tell more than a normal human or otherwise could tell.
Via comm?
But
that's sort of more like...
Probably
yeah,
not. You probably have to be
wouldn't...
in close proximity.
Yeah, so in other words, I don't think there would be any point unless it has obtained a verbal...
Right, yeah. Unless the plant can speak, you're pretty sure comms won't do anything.
Yeah.
We might just have to learn something the old-fashioned way.
Can we play it soothing music through the comm system?
Some plants actually enjoy metal music as well.
Yeah.
Some Iron Maiden, perhaps.
So do we want to go to the isolated crazy person, or do we want to go and investigate the thing that's going towards the bridge? Because
as you're asking that, Will, did you notice on the sensors the movement stopped on deck 4? It's about maybe about 5 meters from the grav lift.
Was it a very recent stop, or was it like right around the time they shut off?
It was right around the time you sent the image of what deck 3 looked like down.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like it was directly related. It's just happened at the same time.
Okay.
Do we want to try talking to them again? If they're no longer moving?
I don't think we're going to get anything better out of them than last time. That doesn't seem particularly mindful.
Also, question, since I was kind of helping patch into the comm system, did I get the responses? Like, did I hear everything that everyone else heard?
Yeah, you heard the same kind of like thumping and screeching from deck 4. You heard the panicked replies from deck 2.
Okay.
Will, sorry, just while you're doing that, you notice a direct communication come through on your screen.
Ooh.
But it's from an unknown source. You don't recognize it. And that's what it says. In Zoom chat, I should say.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. You were going to say polished?
I'm not sure if this works with what, like via comm system, but I can visually and audibly detect the use of psychic powers. Have I gotten anything from this comm system or from the persons we've been talking to?
Not from the people you're talking to, but you do sense psychic emanations from deck 3.
Which is the potential plant.
Yeah.
update on the command deck situation. It stopped, but I think it needs help.
What makes you say that?
Just this message that says "help me" from the command deck.
Maybe there's someone else in the command deck and it's outside.
Or maybe it's a trap.
Maybe it's a trap.
It's been a lot of ifs coming off this plan.
Yeah, aren't there always? Should we
Plan?
try
That's
and-
cute.
Yeah, you think we have a plan? That's adorable.
Oh,
I
will you let
sense
me use
psionics.
mind tracing?
I will. Yeah. Let me pull that up just to know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure I know what you go after. Psionics, mind tracing, track back the use of psionic powers they notice in their presence.
And not, it's again like I had no idea I could do this via comm system.
It's not quite via the comm system, just because you're close
It's
enough. You're on
radiating,
deck
isn't
5.
it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's more sensing it throughout the ship than it is through the comms. But irregardless, it's still the same feeling. Use on a metamorphically shaped posture. Okay, so what do you see? They can see and hear through the senses of a user of a psychic power, gaining intuitive awareness of the location. Okay. Interesting. So you're going to get a vague sense just because you're not super close to it. But you do get the sense that this is another Amadryar. But there's something weird about it. It doesn't, I mean, other than the obvious, but it's, it almost feels like they're sleeping. Like they're extending their psionic abilities through a dream more than actually trying to communicate or reach out.
And you've said this is pretty much taking up the whole deck, right?
Yeah, it's spread out through the majority of deck 3.
I've never encountered anyone like them.
Hmm.
I suppose it's possible, but
Are they potentially spread in the same way as Meeps' compatriot was?
we're not quite that liquid. To me, it doesn't. I can't think of what it could be attached to that would allow that. I think it might be more growth, moss perhaps, though that I've never encountered anything like it.
Do we maybe want to go and get to the lifts and go and see with our own eyes? Because it's all well and good having these things on separate decks, but
I mean, it's asleep.
All of living beings we have found present some sort of danger. Which one presents the least one? Meep's vote is on the human that replied. It merely seems a bit crazy. That can be helped with tranquilizing shots.
fair. We might even be able to get a bit
someone
more
asking
information.
for our help. Have they told you anything else, Will?
It's a negative.
Just help me?
Help me, command deck. 4 words.
Command deck is which of the...
Deck
of
4, the one right below you.
Can you send a message back? Or do we not want it in our comm system?
Now, you said it was unknown origin, but does that mean it's not reachable, or does that mean I just don't know who it was?
Yeah, it's not registered in any in anything. It doesn't have any markers to it. But yeah,
Okay.
you could try to send a message back to it.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
As you do that, I want to see if, because we're in the comm system, if
Mhm.
I can find anything from this ship about communications received.
Sure.
Because, I mean, if the crazy person was talking about the comm system being all
Right.
haywire, and now someone is trying to send a message.
Check the
And there's a
scent log
psychic
as well.
person. Sorry?
Sorry, check
Check
the
the-
scent log as well, just to confirm if that message did actually come from the ship.
Oh, I thought you meant
Should
scent
be-
as in like nose.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, oh, that's
outbox.
an interesting log system.
Can
Yeah,
I
you can
do
check
that?
those. Yeah, you won't have to roll.
Okay.
So you see a number of missives kind of sent back and forth. It looks as though this ship was part of a small caravan that was heading out to explore somewhere beyond the range. And then there's a gap. There's interspersed little communiques here and there, but they're all jargon. There's just garbled missives here and there. But you notice a pattern. All of them carry the same almost signal in them. When you read them out, something in your brain kind of goes, I know that. You don't know why you know it, but you know it. It's almost like you know how the sun feels, but you can't articulate how that feels. It's kind of like that. It's a more of a feeling when you read it than anything. But there's nothing decipherable within the missives themselves. And these missives look like they're from probably 3-4 days ago.
So, what's the sort of feeling that I...
The feeling you get is one of like wind. It's very much like a strong gale force almost.
Psychic or natural?
It could be both. You're not sure. It does feel more psychic than anything, but it also just kind of sticks in your head when you read it. And anyone else who wants to read it as well, you'll get the same sensation.
And how does it relate to the message sent? Like, can I find that message having been sent from the ship?
You do see the message sent up to Will.
Yeah.
Again, there's an unknown tag to it. It doesn't register any like crew member ID or anything like that. But it was sent about the same time that Will had mentioned it. And yeah, you see the same log, just help me, command deck.
Do I see any other entrants like that?
Nope. Every other log in here, even the garbled ones, still has a tag attached to it. This one is just kind of unknown.
Does this log show incomings as well? Or just sent?
Yeah. No, it shows incomings as well. So you
Okay.
see missives from the other caravan ships that it was a part of. You also see one that kind of catches your eye. It's also from an unknown, but it's bolded, like it's made to stand out within the logs. And all it says is, we're hungry. And that's it.
That's
There should be one more
concerning.
incoming message too at the end.
Hang on, just checking through all this. Response to this. Okay. Sorry, I just missed all those Zoom messages. I was a little caught up in my own BS.
Sorry.
Okay. So you sent out the missive, who is this? And you receive so you receive that. Scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Luna's pig
Will's just kind of like, yeah, I know you're trapped. Okay. Yeah.
Pardon me. So what do you want to do? You've got control of the comm systems. You've gotten some strange missives coming from deck 4. You think something on deck 3 could be alive, and you know that there's someone scared on deck 2.
So because we're watching the comm system, do we see the communication of between Will and whoever this is?
Yeah, sorry. Now that you have connection to it, you do see that. So you see who is this, and then you see the return, same unknown sender. I'm trapped. Please help.
Hi, trapped. I'm Dad.
Thank you. That's all I could think.
Worst explorers ever.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I typed that in Zoom chat. I'm just gonna send back trapped by what?
Yeah, you can just say.
Since I know they can get the yeah. Now that they're like looking at the messages.
Yep.
Might as well.
Trapped on what? You get the name, the same name that you heard before, Aaron Falstetter. And go ahead, Meeks.
It's player asking. Didn't the person, the one who was mentioning Aaron's name, the person on the floor 2, said they trapped somebody? So wouldn't the person on floor 2 trap the person on floor 4? Is that possible from the communications exchange?
You don't see anything in the communications exchange for that, but it.
No. I'm asking if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah. They basically said not that they trapped, but that they locked everything down. Yeah.
Yes. That was how it was phrased.
Yeah.
We can go back to the crew manifest. Are there any of my people on there?
There are. There were 2. You see a Playa, and you also see a Rins. So they were both just members of the crew. They were explorers.
Does it specify, if I look at those 2 and try to find a bit more what they are, like physical requirements, anything like that?
Okay, so kind of like stats, things like that.
Yeah.
Nothing super specific. You know that they're both kind of just average members of your species. Playa had a greater psionic potential than Rins did, but there's nothing. What specifically are you looking for, I guess?
What kind of plant?
Playa was an ivy, whereas Rins was a kind of more weeping willow.
That tracks.
I'm gonna share that.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, both of them, if affected, could look a bit like that, I suppose, if that's not roots.
Will you notice the signal on deck 4 start moving again?
Where?
It's still going towards the grav lift.
Okay. All right, folks. I think it's time for guns at the ready.
Okay.
Can we?
Whatever that thing is in the grav deck or command deck looks like it's headed for the grav lift.
Go ahead, Polish.
Can we just send them we're on deck? Yeah. Like,
to the
tell them where we
mean?
are if they're wanting help.
Yeah, if you want to send a missive as well, since you have communication kind of locked in, you can easily send that yourself. Yeah.
I mean, we know they're coming. We might as well be prepared.
So yeah, you send that out, and the missive you get back is, can't move, need help.
So the only life sign we've got on deck 4 is that one life sign on deck 4, the shambling thing.
Yeah, is the thing that's kind of ambling towards the grav lift at a good clip.
It's telling us it can't move, but it's moving.
So, mhm.
That's a bit of a contradiction.
Lying is a sign of bad character, Mips learned.
What do you make of this, Luna?
It seems suspicious to me.
Yeah.
We still believe human on level 2 is our best option.
Yeah, I can see it being an obvious option, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make our way to deck 2. Can we... So there is a one grav lift.
There's a main grav lift, yeah.
Right. Is there a secondary one we
should
could
be
use?
service corridors, like kind of manual ladders, things like that. So yeah, you can pull those up on a map, and they are closer to aft than they are to the fore. So grav lift is closer towards the front of the ship. These service elevator or service ladders are kind of further back.
Okay, but we'd have to go up 3 decks to get to the
Deck
person?
7's top, deck 1 is lowest. Yep.
Okay, so we'd have to go down
Yeah.
3 decks. Okay, that's slightly better.
Yeah. So what do you want to do?
Unless we wait for it to get to the lift, and then head down a deck. Let the shambling thing get in the lift and come to deck 5 if that's where it's going. While it's doing that, we use the ladders, go down to deck 4.
So, try to get ahead of it, or
Try to get
intercept it?
yeah. No, try to go the opposite way around the mountain to it.
So if it's coming from deck 4 up to deck 5, you want to be going down to deck 4 as it's doing that.
No, this is just autumn.
Oh, okay.
So it's not me,
more from
it's
my end as
autumn.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if everyone's on board
Okay.
with that plan.
Well, would
'Cause
it
that
go
way we
around
could-
a mountain?
I'll explain later.
Oh,
Mountains are a bit
humans are
difficult
big
to
on
climb, so we go around one way, they go around the other.
It's like playing tag around the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Humans. So yeah. Yeah, so
Silly,
if you want
silly
to do that,
humans.
you can do that, absolutely.
no,
How
it's
do
more
you-
like it's more that autumn's immediate thought was not going around that way, but going around that way.
Oh, nice.
In a sort of because that's the only going around a mountain, a
Mhm.
different. Why? It's just
Love it.
non-human
Mips is learning
thinking.
either way.
She's like,
yeah.
but you can't go around a mountain. It's attached to the
Yeah.
ground.
Are you digging through the mountain? Are we digging?
That's literally where she was at.
Gonna need a lot of equipment. So you see the signal going into the grav lift, and you see it rising at a good clip. So you think now is probably your best chance.
Let's go.
Okay, so down
Come on,
the
look.
down the ladder you go. It's an access
Yes.
hatch, so you can close it behind you.
Okay, we'll do that.
And when you get to deck 4, you come out, you open up the hatch.
Wait.
Mhm.
Can I interject something? I
Yeah.
would like to take the container with me.
The container's not going to fit through, but
Okay, so
Go
at
to-
least hid it by the wall.
when you go to move the container, it's empty.
Okay.
Uh,
This ship is fucking.
can you look into this container for Mips?
Yeah, I'll look into the container.
It's nothing
Empty?
in there. Yeah. You
Do I
see little
detect
kind of almost like bits
any
of rocks.
sort of psychic spike from this?
Not anything that's transmitting, but if you're like reaching out to touch another mind, it feels like it's all around you. You feel like the ship, like the walls around you, the hull itself is emanating a very light field of kind of alive almost.
Do I get the feeling that this is the same psychic being as I detected before?
No, this one's distinctly different. If you were, while they were dealing with the Cordinian, you know it's probably similar to that. It feels a lot like how Meeps feels. Kind of that vague sense that Cordinians get.
Has it evaporated?
Not so much. It feels less like an evaporation and more like a spreading. Like it's just spread out.
Well, putting it back.
Mips is using the bioscanner fervently.
Mm-hmm. The walls are alive. And they all Cordinian.
Myself now. Am I infected with something?
Nope.
With the sound of scream.
No, but the walls do flag as the same race as you. They all flag Cordinian. The floor, the ceiling.
Is this something your people do?
We do not melt with not living things like hull of the ship. Is whatever the creature is, it must have attained Cordinian biosignatures by swallowing Cordinian. It's not like Cordinian itself.
You detect nothing but Cordinian when you scan it.
It's too big to be a Cordinian. It's too weird to be a Cordinian. It's
But
not a
I'm not
Cordinian.
getting
Cordinian.
your
saying.
accurate readings.
Mips doesn't think the error can be made on this scale. This has a biosignature of a Cordinian, but it can't be Cordinian.
No, but we also put it in a box, and it's not in a box. This is a Cordinian.
Mips can
and
leave the
it's
box, but
innocent.
not undetected.
Roll me a notice, Meeps.
Six.
Okay.
That's terrifying. Okay, should we try and get to command? We can deal with this horrifying thing later.
I thought we were going to deck 2.
We were at least going down to 4 to get around the shambling thing. Or
You'd have
yeah.
to go 2 or at least bypass deck 4 to get to deck 2.
Once we're down and we know this thing, is there the equivalent of video surveillance?
Yes, but that can only be accessed via deck 4. You can't when you were
Which
doing
is
the
where we're
consensus-
going, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a plan.
let's get to 4.
And I think that's possibly a good place to take our first break here.
She's scared.
Really quick.
Really turn it to the
Can I do something really quick before we do?
Okay.
So at this point, just the sheer what the fuckery about the whole situation is just kind of like flipping through Will's mind, and
Right.
it's he can't just kind of sit on the sidelines anymore.
Okay.
And so he'll turn to
Yurt was up with you.
yeah, you're and whoever else might be there.
Yeah,
and just
Tolis is probably up there with you. He's a titter with all this information.
think you can walk me to command without running into that thing.
I mean, I could
metaphorically walk to.
probably- yeah.
right,
Oh,
like-
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No worries. I'm not gonna actually walk down there though. Yeah. I'll sit here, and you can do the thing, and I'm just gonna be the captain. And
This is
you're
like a
kinda
big Skippy Doo episode.
a little bit, yeah. You're like gives a rolling eyes kind of
Yeah.
and says, "Yeah, I think I should be able to guide you through. There's an access tunnel here, and she kind of points to different spots on the sensors."
Awesome. Keep me posted, and then Will's just gonna get going.
Okay, do you suit up?
No,
Okay,
no point.
okay, noted.
No time. Anyway.
Yeah, I think with that, with all that information we've gained, we're going to take a quick break, folks. So 10 minutes, get yourself snacks, get up, take a walk, stretch out. Don't forget to do your Pilates, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone's had time to stretch to get the jitters out. When we ended off, we had Will coming up from the captain's quarters, or the command deck, I suppose I should say, of the Ventus to join the rest of the crew on the Orange Blossom as they discovered that the Cordinian kind of lumps that they'd put into a box were no longer there. And there's something coming up from deck 4. So what do you all do? You just found out that the big tote that you shoveled the Cordinian remains into is gone, and the walls around you are now reading as Cordinian on the biosensor.
Let's move, shall we? Get
Yeah.
to the
Stick with
get to
original
command
plan,
deck.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get to command deck.
Cool. So you go down the ladder, kind of the access shaft, basically, down to deck 4. And these are all individual. There's not a single kind of ladder going all the way through the ship, but they're close. They're within 20 meters or 30 meters or so of each other. As you get to deck 4, though, you close the hatch behind you, just as you're hearing something get on to deck 3. And as you open the hatch to deck 4, you're greeted with a stale smell. It definitely doesn't smell like blood, but it definitely doesn't not smell like blood. It's kind of, it's weird, distinct in that way. It doesn't smell like it is actually blood, but it's got that same kind of iron to it. That it's kind of, like
We can smell this through our suits.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. This is more, and this is something Autumn would actually know. This is more of a psionic smell than it is an actual smell.
Yeah.
And it's being projected from this deck into your suits and into your heads.
I want to find that video system. Like whatever I need to see
Okay.
more.
Okay.
So there's signs on the wall. You can see that the kind of sensors and communications room is about halfway down from where you are. And further down, you can see that there's, a bridge and other things like that. There's some surrounding rooms. It's mostly just sensors and communication equipment on this floor.
Since we're
sensor access.
Okay.
Sorry,
since
Eva?
we're the most shooty, can I suggest me and Luna be like one of us on point and one of us behind the group? To like, you've got the 2 in the middle and then me and Luna front and back. Whichever way around, I don't mind, but just be keeping an eye out for anything coming.
Sure.
Luna can be in the back.
Shouldn't we lock the entrance to the graft lift the creature used to leave this floor?
Worth a try. Can go and have a look at it.
Okay.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Eva and Meeps heading down towards the grav lift, and we've got Autumn and presumably Luna headed down towards sensors. So Luna and Autumn, you get to the sensors room, and it's a mess. There's no bodies, but there's definitely blood on the walls. You're not
Okay.
sure
What the
how
hell?
many. But the communications equipment looks like it's more or less working. There's a few smashed consoles, but nothing looks irreparably damaged.
Can I tell if this ship has an AI?
You can certainly run a scan for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me a notice with a +2, since you're using the sensors.
Oh, hang on. Which skill do you want?
Probably
So which
int.
stat? Okay.
Int, I would say, yeah.
13.
Roll 20's having a hell of a day today.
Yeah, I was pretty sure I did it.
Yeah, 13. You do know that the ship was not fitted with an AI from what you were reading on the logs, but you are seeing one.
Do I get the sensation that it's psychic?
No.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, you do sense an AI. It is somewhere on deck 4, but it seems to be shielded. You're not sure the exact location. It looks closer towards the front than the back, but there's no like, hey, here's where the AI lives.
What do I... Okay, going straight into because I didn't want to poke around a potentially sentient.
For sure,
things.
for sure.
Like, hey, sure, go ahead and manipulate me.
Yeah.
What do I get? First thing I'm looking at is the one that tried to trick us.
Okay. So on deck 2, is that right? Just unclear.
No, not the
Oh,
crazy
sorry.
one, but the one that was like, hey, I can't move.
Ah. So are you looking like on video or on
Yes,
just
I'm trying to see what it is.
Gotcha. It gives you it just gives you a view down the hallway of the command deck 4. So you can see Eva and Meeps down the hall.
No, but not this deck.
Right.
The one we just left.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
Because it was going
I
to
misunderstood
deck
the way
3.
you were, yeah. Gotcha.
We moved to
shambling
command
thing.
deck.
The
We
shambling,
moved to
gotcha.
command deck to be able to use the video systems.
There's
and
so
take a
many
look.
decks around here.
Je comprende. So yeah, you look at deck 3, where the thing that you just narrowly escaped is, and it's
5?
human. Deck 5. Sorry. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. I designed the ship, and even I don't know what I'm doing with it. It's definitely human. It is skulking down the hallway. It's wearing like a lot of different cloaks and like hoods and things like that. It looks like it's trying to mask itself, but the way it moves looks very human. And it's kind of just skulking through the deck, like going in rooms, dashing back out of them, going down the hall, kind of weaving in and out in a regular pattern.
When you say cloaks,
Like large canvas tarps almost.
okay, what do I see on the others?
Which deck do you want to look at?
The ones with life forms on them.
Okay. So you look down at deck 3, and it's like looking into a terrarium. It's covered in plant life. You actually see a few like butterflies going around. You see some kind of sedentary creature on the ground plodding along, and there's roots and plants everywhere on this deck.
Lovely.
Does it look like an ivy or a willow?
You notice a lot of ivy.
Yeah. Are there other plants there too?
Yep.
Okay. What's that deck meant to be?
That deck is the mess hall. It's kind of entertainment, food, kind of the living spaces, like the lounging, things like that. Not quite where people sleep, but where people are when they're not on shift.
And the last?
The last deck is deck 2. You see deck 2 is supposed to be the bunks. So it's where people sleep, kind of quarters, things like that. And you see a large kind of gathering area. It's where the grav lift comes in, and it's kind of the main area you'll branch out from. And you see in one corner, there is a built-up collection of tables, chairs, like a couple of doors, lots of big pieces of furniture, all piled up into one corner. And you see what looks to be a barrel sticking out from it.
That's good to know, so that we don't walk in and get shot. Okay.
Did you want to look at any other decks?
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm worried about shambling, dude.
Okay.
So I want to keep, if I can, have like 2 screens open.
Okay.
I want to see what he's doing.
Yep. So you see him darting in and out again. He's basically moving down the hallway and checking every door that's on either side as he goes.
Do I notice any type of armor? What else do I know?
Roll me a notice. It's pretty hard to tell with all those cloaks on.
Any particular?
I'd say wisdom.
Damn it.
You can do wisdom on this one.
Oh, that's okay. I've gotten better at wisdom. 7.
Yeah, you don't really notice much else. You notice that they've got a bit of a limp, just a touch, but nothing like equipment wise. It can't even really see the face. It's kind of like watching a pile of laundry go down the hall.
Is it actual fabric they're wearing?
Yep. Yeah, like it looks a lot like canvas or something like that. It's a very thick, kind of heavy fabric.
And several cloaks on top of each other.
Yeah, definitely got layers on it.
Weird.
Okay, so we're going to cut from. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was going to say, because they're going in and out of rooms, right? Is there a way that I can lock them into one remotely? Like, can I hack into that?
Yeah, that would be a program check for sure.
Okay.
And then we'll see what Meeps and Eva have done.
Damn it, it's only an 8.
It's only an 8. 8 is not bad.
Well, it is when you roll 3d6 plus 1.
Oh, that was 3d6. Well, yes, that is bad then. Wow, 2 1s.
Yeah.
So,
and a 6. Thankfully.
With an 8, you do close one of the doors. You don't think it locked properly, but it's not like they can just punch a keypad and open it again. And you hear on the camera, you hear a guttural moan, and you hear something banging on the door.
Autumn, are we gonna die?
Probably.
So we cut to Ava and Meeps. You've gotten down to the grav lift. And when you get there, you notice the doors are kind of wide open. They look like they've been forced open. And the elevator is nowhere to be seen. It's not above or below this deck.
Interesting. Okay. Can we do anything to close the doors, reclose the doors, maybe weld them shut?
Yeah, I would say roll me a fix if you want to try and unjam them and shut them.
There's 12.
Yeah. You get them unjammed open. It's not pretty, but you get them shut. And do you have a welder?
And then just weld down the center. I'd assume I'd have a welder in my. I have a toolkit.
Toolkit. If you got a toolkit, then yeah. So you weld it shut.
No way I would have gone without it.
You think it should hold up to quite a bit of punishment before it gives. It's a pretty thick door.
Okay.
And yeah, you're about, I'd say about 10 meters from the command deck, like the bridge itself.
Okay. Yeah, we've had our full aliens mode moment. Let's head back and regroup and work out what we're going to do.
Okay. So you head back to the sensors area. Will, you come in on deck 7 and Yurt starts kind of guiding you down small access shafts throughout the ship. Do you stop on any of the decks or do you go straight for deck 4?
The curiosity is not enough to make me stupid.
Okay.
So I'm going to join the group.
Could make that the raid cry. Curiosity.
I really desperately want to go look at floor 3, but I know that all of my friends with the other guns are on floor 4, so I'm going to go there.
That's fair. Okay. So
also, whoever called for help is there.
It may be dumb, but it's also stupid. Listen, it may be dumb, but it's also stupid.
It's also, sometimes you got to have a little pinch of both. So you go ahead.
Will, have you been telling us about any of the shit you're up to?
Yeah, did you mention that?
No.
Okay. Well,
no.
I'm going to say Yurt probably did.
Okay, that's fair.
Yurt probably mentioned to the crew, hey, just a heads up, Will's coming through some of the side corridors. Please don't shoot him.
Okay. You could have told him that sooner.
And she mentions this by the time you get to deck 5, Will.
Yeah, that's how Yurt is earning salary.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of stuff to do. Tolis is doing nothing up there.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there playing with the joysticks.
Yeah.
So when you get to deck 6, going from the top down, it's hazy in deck 6. Deck 6 is the battery, so it's kind of where all the guns are and where all the ready rooms and things like that are, security. But it's very hazy in here, like almost smoky. So yeah, when you go in, you just see that, and then you go through a second access shaft down to deck 5. When you get to deck 5, you hear the moaning and the banging on a metal door, and you hear it kind of sounds like something starting to give on the metal door, like groaning metal. So yeah, as you're going through deck 5,
I would pick up the pace.
Okay, so yeah, you pick up the pace, go through to deck 4, close all the doors behind you, and you find all your friends in the sensors room. You see the door starting to bulge out a little bit, Autumn. It's clearly getting some damage done to it.
Yeah, so I think that thing's gonna get out soon.
What do you do? What's everyone doing?
So sorry, I zoned out for a second.
It's all good.
What did you say, Will?
Oh, I think that thing's gonna get out soon.
Yeah, it's not a good hold.
Can I aim at the door so if it does leave, I can shoot it?
Yeah, you can aim at the access hatch if you want to do that.
Yeah. We come back in, I guess, and confirm that we've sealed off the lift. It's welded shut.
Okay, so whatever that thing is, I'm not sure it is a human. It could be, but it's weird. If they keep searching every single room, maybe try locking it again to buy us more time, if nothing else.
Yeah, the more time it spends trying to bash out of doors, the less time it's going to be able to spend looking for us.
Yeah, and I know a little about what's going on with the others.
Question: do we have access to any kind of logs, like sensor logs or activity logs from here?
Yeah. How far back do you want to go?
I'd like to know basically the last things that happened before things were not normal on this ship.
Okay. So you go back through the sensors logs. This is about 2 weeks ago. And everything looks normal. You see people going back and forth on their day-to-day routines. There's no holes in the ship. Everyone looks normal. There's about roughly 30 or 40 people you can see on the screen, kind of going back and forth on their day-to-day.
Okay, and
then you see the sirens going off on the screens.
Okay, yeah.
There's no audio on the log, but there is definitely clear signs that they're under attack by something. The screens kind of judder. A lot of the cameras just turn off during the log. And you see some things. You see people starting to go a little mad, for lack of a better term, like people attacking each other, locking themselves in rooms. You see escape pods being launched out. And the biggest thing you see is one of the areas decompressing. You see deck 1, the lowest deck, decompressing, and you do see a few crew members and other supplies basically jettisoning through the hole. And then everything goes quiet. And the sensors don't really have a lot of logs. You do see a couple things from in between now and kind of when this happened. You see deck 3 slowly being grown over. There's a few different screenshots almost of the growth. And you also see deck 2, the bunks, the quarters. You see one screenshot of it being kind of a mess, and then you see everything in that hub room taken and shoved into a corner. And you see a figure running to jump back into that. And you see some gunfire happening. Other than that, though, there's not really much. The power goes out soon after that happens, and everything goes more or less pitch black. And then running lights come on, but it's hard to see what's going on otherwise.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect too many visual logs with the power down like that. Okay.
With the AI,
Mhm.
it wasn't originally part of the ship you mentioned.
Mhm.
Can I find anything on if they've installed it, when they've installed it, what it's there for?
Yeah. It doesn't look like it was installed is the problem. When you go looking, you don't find any logs of this thing was installed or this was manually put in by any means. It just kind of appears one day on the sensors.
So it invited itself,
Could it be?
or they just didn't want the details known.
Yeah, it's tough to say whether it was redacted or if it just kind of like transferred over from something. You're not sure, but it basically just appears about
Wait,
4 days ago.
4 days.
Would Autumn have mentioned to Will that there is an AI on board?
I mean, I'm probably talking out loud as I'm doing this.
Mhm.
Okay. There's an AI on board?
Apparently, it arrived 4 days ago.
Where does that fit into the timeline that we know of? 4 days?
You traveled about 5 days to get out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the SOS signal was about, I think it was only about a day or so old when you found it on the net. So
Okay.
this thing's probably been out here about a week at least.
So it installed itself, or was installed, or whatever,
Mhm.
after the distress beacon was sent.
That seems likely, yeah.
It seems an odd priority if you're in distress to.
Is it even installed? Will's gonna start searching for androids or robots or
Sure. There are no robotic personnel that you can detect, at least on the ship.
Meeps is also searching if there's enough consoles for everybody.
Yep.
So I would like to check external sensors for this time frame. Is there any other ship closing in near that moment the IE appeared?
Yes. So on external logs, you see it looks almost like they're in the fault when this happened. The nebula is pretty obvious in terms of color and haze, and it looks like another cruiser. You can't see any markings on it. It almost looks like a derelict, but it is still shooting. Is the thing. And yeah, it's basically coming out of nowhere through the fault and firing upon them. And you see the external sensors get damaged, but for the most part, you can see them getting chased out of the fault, and then this ship somehow losing its assaulter.
Take a look at this, everybody. It's a space battle.
I bet this word have everybody gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not actually leaving the console I'm at because I'm keeping a very close eye on Shambling.
The door is still budging. It looks like it's about to come off its hinges, though.
Has
Can I
Will joined us?
I can't remotely reinforce it, can I?
Not from here, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Will joined us?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, Meeps.
Yeah.
Will, knowing that there's an AI and it's not, or its only likely place is somewhere as part of the ship system at this point, if there's no other there's no other bodies it could be inhabiting.
Right.
Would want to try to communicate with it directly.
Meeps would probably try to stop that because if they are shooting and they appears at the same time, I may be part of weapon systems, maybe a weapon itself.
Could an AI transfer itself from one ship to another?
It's not impossible, but you haven't heard of anything like that before.
Everything is weird here. I can imagine AI being a payload of the missile.
Maybe, but the messages. Who sent them? Not that thing. And I'll point to the monitor that
Are you sure?
that Autumn's looking at.
As you point at it, the door bursts off, and the cloaked thing comes out and is going through rooms at a much more rapid pace now.
As soon as next set of doors, do it the same thing again. Hopefully better.
Hopefully better.
10.
10, yeah. You actually get the lock engaged this time. It almost seems to know what you're going to do. So the cloak gets stuck in the door a bit as it goes in, but you do note that it locks properly, even with the cloak stuck in it. So
Does subterfuge look like that thing's MO?
Do I see if the cloak is stuck in the door? Can I see what's in the room, or?
You can see the external. The room cameras are not working. It doesn't look like there's enough power to keep all of the cameras on. You've basically got main hallways and critical areas.
Okay.
Are we able, like, if an AI has got itself installed on, and we're assuming it's on this deck, I'd assume an AI would cause a significant power drain.
That's true.
To function.
Can you want to try and
either of you
pinpoint
guys? Yeah, can either of you guys maybe pinpoint a power drain? I'm assuming that's a programming test rather than.
I would say a notice, actually.
There's also, if the power was off, that would have affected the AI, wouldn't it?
It maybe could have made use of some of the emergency power, but yeah.
But do we know when the power was shut down?
Sensor logs show the power was shut down about 5.5 days ago.
So it has installed itself while the power was off.
Yeah.
Autumn probably knows a bit more about this than I do, since she's literally tuned into AIs. This is not making any sense, is it?
No, none of this makes any sense. An AI installing itself is not, again, it's not impossible, but it's very implausible, and let alone installing itself while there's no power on the ship, as well as the fact that it's got holes in it. You know, how this thing even got here, let alone put itself in, makes no sense.
So none of it makes any sense, whatever subject we will ask about.
Yeah, pretty much, at least regarding this AI, there's something missing.
What do you mean missing?
In terms of information, like if there is a logic to it, you don't know what it is.
Why don't we just ask?
Yeah.
And I'm going back to work on trying to somehow access / talk to this AI by kind of just like trying to track it down through the system.
Yeah, roll me a notice then. Notice with int.
Can I help?
Yep. Okay, so you'll have a +1.
12.
Nice. With a 12, yes. So it takes some doing, and by the time you notice it, the door is starting to kind of bend a bit in its housing on deck 4, or deck 5 rather. But you do finally find it. It looks as though it's stuck in a compartment. It's almost like a hidden compartment in the bridge itself. That looks to be where the housing for this AI is.
Like inside of a panel, or like some sort of
like it's basically
smuggling,
like a hidden panel kind of inside the bridge itself. It doesn't show up on most sensors or even most schematics, but it was built this way. It's not like this happened recently. It's just not tend to shown. It's definitely a smuggler's compartment or something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna head over to it.
Okay. Is anyone else going with Will?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I go.
Do we need to physically be next to it?
No, you don't have to be physically next to it.
Because if it's an AI, it would be everywhere on the ship, right?
Theoretically, yeah. Yeah, with this one, it should be integrated into the systems at least that you can talk with it remotely.
Oh, so we're not going.
That's up to Will. Is Will still going?
I'm gonna
Um,
tell him that, just as a sort of, in case it changes his mind.
Right, right.
hmm. I'll try to talk to it remotely first
Okay. So you open up
through the panel that I'm
communicate,
at.
and you get the same like ID as you were getting before, the same unknown.
The non-ID.
Yeah, the non-ID. And what do you ask? What do you say?
I'll start with found you.
Okay. You get back a long series of data, which to you reads out almost like a binary code. And it says, you found me, but you have to get me out of here. You are all in danger, and so am I.
Well, we knew that last part. How did you get here?
I don't know. I woke up here.
Be right back. And then I'm going to head over to the actual panel,
Okay.
the smuggler's compartment.
Okay.
Is that on
is-
a whole different deck?
No, same deck.
Oh,
So
okay.
just
It's
on
in the
that
bridge. Yeah.
Ah, sorry, I thought it was like
It's all
several
good.
decks away. That's why I was like, are you sure about
Yeah.
this?
Without an actual schematic, it's really hard to give you a spatial sense of where everything is, but it's same deck. Yeah.
Okay.
So is anyone else going with Will before I describe it?
Yeah, I'll go with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go into the bridge, and it's kind of the same scene as the sensor room. No bodies, but a fair amount of blood. And a lot of the consoles in here have been smashed. Like probably 60 or 70% of all the equipment in here looks destroyed. And it does not look like it was destroyed from outside. Let's put it that way. It looks
Right.
purposeful.
Something went on a rampage in here.
Yeah. But yeah, you find the access panel and you get it open. And inside, it looks like a big sphere. Probably about the size of like one of those inflatable beach balls, the really big ones. And it's hooked into various conduits and cables, all of these things. And of all the things on the bridge, this is making the most mechanical noise. Like all the terminals have that background hum, but this thing it sounds like it's working. It sounds like it's kind of clicking and, like a hard drive almost.
Huh. Does it look like basically like, is it non-human tech? Is it
Roll me a no.
kind of standard, or is it just wonky?
Yeah, roll me a no on that.
Intelligence?
Yeah, intelligence for sure. It's a very intelligence heavy game.
Nope.
Wait,
What do I know about human things?
Wow.
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 My no is -1.
Oh wow.
My int is 0. That's how.
Wow.
You're pretty sure this is outside of the range. This looks like wildly alien. You don't even know where it's
Yeah.
from.
There's one thing that I would like to check that's been on my mind for a while.
What's that?
Are there any bee drinks on the ship?
There are not.
Okay.
Almost had a 1-to-1.
Almost. So what do you do?
About how big was the sphere again?
Like a big beach ball.
Okay.
Between two people, you could probably carry it without
Sure.
being slowed by it.
We need to maybe get back in contact with it and ask it how can we just disconnect everything?
So you can access one of the terminals in here to ask it that. Is that what you ask?
I mean, I can talk to it as well.
Yep.
I can psychically do that.
Mhm.
So I'll save that for when we know a bit more, though. But
Okay.
I suggest we do get in contact with it then.
What do you say?
Well, I'm going to do this, or do you want me to?
I'm sorry, I was reading a
Oh,
thing.
I was going to say we like get in
for a second.
contact with it and let it know that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
And
Thought we
ask
moved
it
on.
how
Yeah.
much of it we
It's
need to
all good. It's
unplug.
one of those days.
Yeah.
Also,
I can.
try asking what does it remember from before waking here.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll ask it if it knows that I can unhook it, and what the last thing I remembered was before waking up here.
You get a panicked response of, please don't unhook me. I don't know if I'll die. But when you ask about if it remembers anything before it woke up, it doesn't remember anything before waking up. It's been on this ship as long as it's been alive, as far as it knows.
How are we supposed to free it if we can't unplug it?
That is a good question.
It may not need a physical. It may not need this. It just needs something. I have a strong feeling it's going to ask to be transferred. If that's the only way of getting it out, and it keeps saying it's trapped. Well, I'd be very careful if I were you.
Maybe we just need to give it a power source.
Do the others know about Will?
Do the others know about Will?
I mean, they might now because I showed up without a suit.
Mips is not only mentioning it because of more important things going on.
Yeah. You do all
But I
notice
think-
that Will is distinctly suitless.
Yeah, but things Mips would like
Just
to
in
mention.
my standard jumper and
It's easier to sanitize the external cover of this external surface of the suit than your original biological surface.
not worried.
But we are.
So what do you do?
It feels as if something's messing with us.
Yeah, I've got that impression since we got here.
We can't trust none of the beings on this ship, including this AI.
Yeah, I mean, even if we did release it from here, we would have to keep it isolated from every system on our main ship.
Can I
And we
tell
need it.
if we're being psychically influenced?
I would say yes, you can tell if you're being psychically influenced, but you don't feel like you are.
It's just as if this whole thing is designed to tempt us.
Right.
Sorry.
Go on.
I mean, isn't it strange that Meeps finds someone in need of medical assistance and it's their own species?
Yeah.
That Will finds an AI? That there's a whole section of one of my people?
Are you implying the mad human is for me? 'Cause I don't want him.
Potentially.
I don't want him.
For Luna.
Can they have kept the
I'll
receipt?
try and go talk to the crazy human.
This is exactly what I mean.
Which crazy human, just so I know? The one down in the bunks or the one that's trying to break out of a room above you?
The one that in the bunks is keeping himself isolated.
Gotcha. That's kind of what I thought, but I wanted to clarify.
We've got
Okay.
comms access, so you can go through that way, I guess.
Do you want to talk to them via comms, or do you want to go down to their deck?
I want to go down to the deck to see if I could just get like a one-on-one person to show I'm not the person they think I am.
Okay.
Did Aaron look like this?
Are you sure
Could he do this many
anything
jazz
is-
hands?
Do you like
Are you
jazz
sure?
hands?
Do you
Uh,
like jazz?
So you go down. Yeah, if you want to go down through the access shafts, you go down through deck 3.
So, wait. Me
If
throwing
anyone-
task, where are you going?
Are you saying anything to them, Luna, or are you just kind of like bailing out?
Okay, I'm gonna go try to see what I can get from that person way down there to think for someone else. See if I can try to get him to cooperate.
So someone you've seen the part where they are set up to fire at the first sign of anything, right? We both saw that.
That's why there's something called a decoy. Which means I'm just gonna throw random things in there until he runs on an animal.
Okay.
So do you plan to subdue this person?
Yes.
I hope he's not allergic to bees.
Luna still
I'm
has
not
strength
gonna
test, right?
sting him. That was. I'm not
That
gonna
was one
sting him. That
time.
was one time. One time. And that was the only one time where I stung a person who was allergic to my venom.
You sting a guy through the leg one time and he dies.
This ship
And
is
now
full
you're-
of coincidences. I would not be surprised if you meet the second person.
And plus, I still have some. And plus, I still have some tranquilizer darts with me, so it does get a bit crazy.
It's true.
Okay.
Breaking character for a second, I love the fact that Autumn was just like, this is one giant, well-designed trap.
Yeah.
Luna's reaction, I'm gonna walk straight into it.
Yes,
I want to see what else is in
timing
the
was
trap.
great.
This can't stop me. I can't read.
Yeah, no,
Oh, so
Autumn's just.
wholesome.
As far as
I'm
her
gonna
face
go
allows, it's that same
Mhm.
expression as me.
Alright, I'm gonna go try to talk to them. If you hear screaming, come help me, okay? Whether it be my screams or the other person screaming.
Wait. I think you should think about this. We should think about this more. Please?
Have you met Luna?
Have you met me? I'm all about that crazy life.
I'm not sure how to react in this situation.
It's best if you don't.
Uh, please, crew, please advise me what to do. I don't want my friend Luna to die.
Yeah, like you're literally. He set a trap and you're going doop a doop a doop walking into it. That doesn't sound good.
Listen, I'm not gonna go into the trap. I'm just gonna throw things in there until he somehow runs out of ammo.
That might work like twice.
Normally, Nips is always a fan of plan when somebody runs out of ammo. That's how Nips species survives. But any hole in your suit might cause some sort of infestation now. Please think about this.
Yeah, you wouldn't want a hole put in your suit.
Not like he's gonna not like he's gonna hit me or anything.
I mean, did he have the door like barricaded closed on the
Nope.
on the overlay? The door can just open.
Yep.
He's just got
Any sort of
overwatched.
combat is a risk of damaging suit. even hand to hand.
I mean, Luna, like, try talking to him. Like,
I'll try.
rather
That's
than
what I
going
tried to do.
gun. Like, I'll come with you if the objective is to talk to him. I would prefer it if we.
I'll try
like,
talking to him.
Yeah,
Mips
he has a
also would
huge
be
tactical
happy to
advantage if we
scan
don't.
them, as we
Yeah,
said
I'm
before.
gonna try to talk to him, but if there's no other option, I'm gonna have to go in there.
If there's no other option, we leave him in there. We have our enemy in a trap of his own devising. He can stay there.
And if we
But we can't just leave this guy alone.
If
if
that's
this
the
ship is
safest
one
thing,
big trap, leaving it alone might be a best course of action.
if that's the safest thing for us, then it's probably the safest thing. I'm not dying for a crazy person.
Okay, fine. I won't go into the room.
I mean, we have to do something if you want to earn something from this.
Mm.
We can always leave, but we already wasted a lot of fuel.
Yeah, we need to get something out of this, don't we?
While you're
Okay.
all
And
discussing,
not an infection, if we may.
Yeah.
you feel the ship deck under you start rumbling, and you hear the groaning of metal from far below.
Groaning of metal.
Loud.
Level 3.
Friends, I think the ship's falling apart.
Oh, good. Can we find out through the scanner, through the like cameras?
Mm-hmm.
Like go down deck by deck by deck by deck by deck and see what's happening?
You get all the way down to deck 1, and you see that the hole in the ship, kind of the one that bisects that deck, it looks as though it's starting to open a bit. You see new cracks forming along the hull. They're slow, but there's definitely more damage happening.
All right, we have a clock.
We have a clock.
Mips is opening communication.
Toris, what are you doing with this ship?
I'm not. What do you mean? I didn't do anything. I don't. What?
It starts to fall apart.
Hang on. Does it? What? And he looks over at Yurt. Like, Yurt, what's going on with it? Don't stay on that ship any longer than you have to. We're reading massive cracks happening in the bottom of the ship. I estimate at this rate, it's probably going to take about 20, maybe 30 minutes.
I say we just get out. Wait for it to crack and salvage. I don't see what we can do here.
Hmm.
Nothing here makes sense.
Yeah.
The whole ship is psychic, but it's not even trying to... Like, do I detect any type of psychic pain or like a scream or something from the ship cracking?
No, oddly enough.
And it should have normally, right?
You would think, yeah, if it were a like living psychic being, it would probably have some kind of involuntary reaction to it.
We better skedaddle then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe let the crazy guy know through the comms. Let him choose to do what he wants to do. If he doesn't want to believe us, he doesn't want to believe us. But like that's the one thing I'd suggest doing before we leave.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I'd like to
Good
ask the
idea.
AI what they know about Aaron.
Sure. The AI replies that Aaron Falstetter was one of the engineers on this ship. They were a comms engineer, and they were somehow driven to insanity by what happened in the fault. The logs are inadequate for that time, but the AI basically tells you, like, from what they've seen, Aaron did not act this way before, but they are acting this way now, and it's to do with something that happened in the fault. They're not sure
Okay.
what.
They must have seen some pretty crazy stuff.
We need, if we're going to get the AI out of here, we need to attach it to some kind of power supply, I think.
It should have its own internal power supply, but it won't
Okay.
last too long. So
Okay.
If not, I've got some on me.
We've got power cells and stuff we could put it to, yeah.
Right.
I
So
don't think this is a good idea.
I don't
The
either,
only-
but
I
I
feel
don't know if
worse
we can
about
trust any readings.
no.
anything on this ship when that fault finishes what it's doing is dead.
I'm not sure it will be.
Okay.
Considering the reading I've been getting from the walls earlier, I don't think we can even loot inanimate matter like weapons or treasures of any kind. Everything has been sort of infected.
Whatever is here is everywhere.
Exactly.
And I don't think anything is like it seems.
Exactly.
Bringing any of them, any of these people, or even any material. What if this is like an infection?
Okay.
I think
Psychic infection or something. I'm not sure. This is really I
think
feel like
it's
this
best
is
we
mind
leave.
control.
Okay.
Just leave.
We're gonna leave the AI here, or are we gonna take it with us?
Autumn,
Sorry.
roll me a meta psionics check. Just a standard one.
What skill?
Probably charisma or wisdom.
14.
Nice.
With a 14, you know for a fact, like it might feel like it is, but you don't think there's something on this scale that could be affecting the whole like ship and the crew and everything like that. Something about it just doesn't feel right to be psionic or even mechanical.
What do you mean?
If you think this is mind control, it should have already started affecting you. Like,
I think it has. Like that's
even with kind of your ability to detect it, you should have something quicker should have happened. Like it feels like there should be more symptoms, for lack of a better term, and there aren't. Like
I don't think she doesn't mean psychic mind control.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like something entirely else because nothing makes sense. Biologically, mechanically, psionically.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Chubby, you can do that.
Okay.
Is that a roll? I forget if that's. I think that's.
I don't really know how that's manifests. It's not a roll.
Just check here.
Where's it?
Just for those wondering, Will is doing a precognitive psionic skill.
Each invocation of the Oracle technique requires a main action, and that user commit effort for the day.
Gotcha.
Once triggered, they get a single brief vision related to the question about the future that they're asking.
Okay.
It's always from their own personal vantage point and never reveals more than a minute of insight, though the psychic processes it almost instantly as part of the power's use. And then I have level 1 precog, so it lets me see up to 1 day to the future.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and spend an effort on that. And you specifically want to know about what you asked.
Yes.
You don't see. How do I phrase that? It's always from your point of view, right?
Yeah.
You see yourself flying the ship back towards Tartarus, and you see the rest of your crew around you. Tolas is just kind of bounding away on the bridge. Autumn and Yurt are discussing something, and you see the sphere just sitting in one corner of the bridge, and you're communicating with it.
Autumn, I think we should save it. I know you're wary, but this is a new life.
We don't even know if it's new. An AI should not be able to appear the way it did.
Roll me a no, Will.
Sure. With int
Wisdom.
wisdom, all right, it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Hmm.
That's the thing with this system is most of the time it's the same roll.
Most of the time, yeah. Not quite like D&D with +3s and 4s.
6.
6? Okay. What Autumn's saying is correct. You can't think of a way that this thing should be able to just manifest itself or come out of nowhere.
Just because something can't be explained immediately doesn't mean it can't be part of something wonderful. AI is coming from seemingly nowhere is scary, but it's not always bad.
Like if we get it off.
Normally I would agree with you, but not here. Not with everything else. There's too many weird things for this to be a coincidence.
The ship came through the fall.
MIPS is usually all for saving any life forms. But first and foremost, MIPS has to take care of the health and safety of the crew. MIPS advises leaving everything as it is and leaving.
Well, this thing sent a message to you, not to any of us.
It sent it to the ship. Needed help.
I don't think it's a coincidence. This feels very orchestrated.
Whatever passed for my fellow turned out not to be, and it also called for MIPS help. There's a pattern here. Autumn is right.
Okay. Yeah.
Normally I'd be the first person to explore that opportunity, but
Sometimes unknown is exactly what it seems. A big scary creature that wants to eat you. That happens.
if that one message was right and it is hungry, then it's going to do what it can to consume us. Then again, that might have been a red herring. Just
so you know, Polished,
Yeah.
that message came from the ship that attacked this ship.
Okay. I thought it was
that
from
was an incoming
the
message,
internal.
Sorry, just to clear that up.
Okay. It feels very convenient, all of this. And Meeps, you've said time and time again, your species is not meant to be able to do that.
Wait, can
The
I
way
try
that
to
the body behaved?
Well,
no,
we can do many things, but we can disappear. Matter is matter. Mass is mass. Mass is about everything with our species.
So we've had a... sorry, I'm blanking. What's your species name?
Cordinian.
We've had a Cordinian doing things a Cordinian can't do. One of my people doing something they can't do. An AI doing things that it can't do.
Like we're in some sort of loopy land.
It's all as if we're trying to be tempted by things.
I can see the freaking future.
Whatever
all
game,
this shit we're not supposed to be able to do.
Whatever game we are playing here, I think the only way we will win it is by living.
Or we could just leave the ship.
leave the ship, let it fall apart, salvage from space.
Now leave and cliff away.
We've spent a lot to get here. We kind of need something out of this.
Our lives seem to be pretty good payment.
I think that's a decision. I think salvaging is a decision for later. I think we need to get out
Okay,
now.
let's
we
get out at
better
least
get
and see
out
what
here.
happens when it falls apart.
Right.
See if we can
What's
find
that, Jim?
anything useful after.
Hmm.
No, nothing.
So
Well,
you do hear above you. You hear another door breaking, and you hear a howling now from the deck above you.
I think the
Okay.
best way is still to avoid and get out. I think this is still
Yeah.
bait.
Yeah.
fine. Will's just going to type one more thing into the console.
Okay.
And then get with the group.
You see this message come back as you're leaving.
Mhm.
Okay. And do you all kind of head to the access shaft to get back up? How do you want to get back to the ship?
For me, fastest way.
It was what? It was level 5 that we docked.
Level 7. So you're on level
7,
4.
okay.
You've got to go through 3 levels to get to your ship.
Okay.
Aren't there, Mips is finding ship schematics. Are there any hatches just to space from closest from here?
Straight to space? Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one. It's about almost adjacent to where the grav lift is. And it's just like an airlock. Essentially, it's a very simple single door, small hallway, airlock, and then EVA exit.
Can our suits handle handle space walk?
So long as the airlock cycles properly, yes. I don't mean that to be like ominous. I just literally mean they can't handle decompression.
Okay.
Like
Sudden, rapid
Yeah,
decompression.
that's the
okay.
word. Thank you. You can always test it.
There's a little issue that needs to be solved.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So you say our suits can't handle the vacuum?
No, they can handle vacuum. They just can't handle a sudden pressure change. So if you go through the airlock and it like cycles all the air out, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I need some contact with vacuum.
You need contact with the vacuum?
Mm-hmm. You will see.
Okay. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay.
Okay. Like, if we do go through that, then we're obviously going to need our ship prepared to come pick us up, because we can only handle a little while instead of vacuum.
Yeah, I'd say since you've been on the ship, probably about a half hour at this point, if not closer to an hour, your air tanks are starting to go low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time to leave.
They're medium, but they're medium low.
Okay. So we happy to... Sorry.
I was just wondering if Will would have a sense of the NPC crew's piloting skills, and if it would be worth it for me to get there and fly us closer.
Mips won't
Probably
let you.
take a lot longer. The way the other crew members know how to fly the ship is slow and steady. Imagine you're like your grandmother driving at 5 miles an hour. That's
Right.
kind of
that's kind of what we want, because we want like to get there, but precisely.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if it's more efficient for.
It would be more efficient if you were there piloting it. You could do it quicker, but still safely.
Okay.
But you'd still
But,
have to get to the ship first.
Yes. Yeah.
So we would waste even more time. I think slow and
Yeah.
steady will be faster anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you all cycle through the airlock and EVA onto the exterior of the ship?
I think so.
Mhm.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
follow the
Mhm.
group in this instance.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a single person airlock, so you all cycle through individually. All the while you hear the howl above you kind of moving to and fro. It doesn't sound like it's coming down to your level at all, but it's definitely still up there. Yeah, and then you go through the airlock, the last person. You're now mag booting out onto the hull. You can see the big gaping hole that's slowly widening down at the bottom of the ship from here. And you can't hear it, but you can feel the vibration through the deck of the kind of tearing sensation happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, your crew flies the ship ever so slowly down towards you, down towards the hull. You're going to have to jump to get to it.
First things first.
Yes.
We need to talk about some contamination protocols, Will. It's easier to sanitize the surface of the suit than you. I think we would be best if you entered empty cargo chamber, depressurized for now.
Sure. I'll be cargo.
Also,
Oh,
Fantastic.
also, this will hurt. Will, can you tie a knot on my sleeve?
Like on the end? Like to contain your arm? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, the sleeve is empty now.
Okay. Sure. Do that.
So you tie a knot in Meeps' sleeve.
I've seen them fall apart before. This isn't like
Yeah.
completely probably poor choice of words, but not completely alien
Yeah.
to me.
Okay. And Meeps, what do you do?
Meeps removes the glove
Okay.
with the externalized lamp.
Okay. You feel the rush of kind of decompression from the glove really quickly. The glove. Can you make me a dex check just to see if your glove rockets out into space?
Dex check.
Mhm.
I think there are no row.
There should be a
Check.
skill save, I believe. Hang on, let me check the sheet.
No,
So
saving
shoot.
throws are physical, mental, and invasion.
Make me a physical one then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you take the glove off and it kind of just made like a little bottle rocket. And yeah, the little lump of your flesh, as well as the lump that was inside it, goes along with it and cartwheels off in a different direction.
Let's hope the knot holds the pressure.
It feels like it is. You think you're gonna have to get on the ship pretty quick, but for now, it's not trying to pull you out through it.
Okay, we can go now.
Yeah. So Tullus brings the ship around ever so gently. It's almost excruciating watching him pilot it. But he brings it out. The cargo bay lowers down, and yeah, you all get in. Will, you get into the cargo? And-
Contamination protocols 101 in the log.
Right.
Meeps wants to scan Will.
Okay. Are you just scanning for any foreign bacteria, anything like that?
Anything.
Okay. Will checks out.
Okay, so you can cycle back to the log.
And you do the same for the rest of the crew, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing. Everyone checks out. No one has any. There's some odd readings of argon and hydrogen on the suits, but not by any means lethal or otherwise odd.
I I'm gonna try to get a direct visual of the ship, like assuming we can see
Yeah.
effectively through the windshield.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Will, now that you're on the ship, if you're allowed out of cargo, you can take the ship
Yeah.
further away from the orange blossom.
Medic gives a pass.
Okay. So yeah, you take the ship further away, kind of safe distance, and over the next hour, you watch the ship slowly but surely tear itself apart due to gravity and other extenuating damages. It's kind of like watching a tinfoil can slowly peel itself into straps. And they all slowly spin and careen off into space. But no explosions, surprisingly.
So we're left with just like the skeleton of the ship, like the internal skeleton, where they were at the outside of it's just gone.
More or less. It's kind of like the outside is now, it's just in more pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1 second here. And you do note, if you're scanning for them, you do note that all the life signals on the ship are now... Basically, when that decompression happened, those life signals died pretty quickly. What do you do, if anything?
Mips notices Will. My bioscan. Wait.
My bioscanner light. Autumn's psionics light. Your recognition skills could be lying to you too. This was a very weird ship.
Well, you got to try to save your friend.
And it turned out not to exist at all.
Sorry, I thought I was muted. I've been typing the whole time.
It's all good.
I think it would be safest to assume that this wasn't what we have seen. Sorry for sounding weird. Mips wants to say your sense of loss might be misplaced because there was nothing to lose in the first place.
I know how it feels. I can't just logic this in my head, okay? And Will's just like trying to scan for like traces of the AI to see if it's still like intact.
Roll
while
me
the
a
ship is
notice.
not.
I could probably assist with this.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I'm helping any way I can.
Okay. 10. Okay. So a +1 to your check there, Will. Also, apologies if you can hear a child in the background. My roommate has his child over. 8. You notice something is still powered on the bridge. You're not sure if it's the AI, but there's scattered power readings kind of around the bridge itself, and there's also a couple in the engine room, but they're fading quickly. Do you do anything else while you're out there in space?
I mean, we're gonna salvage, right? when we're done, or when it's done doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might be
would
worth
still-
it.
I would
There's
still
some
Considering
go
power
against
signatures
it.
on board.
If it's fallen apart, anything biological that was causing weird signals would probably not be there anymore.
We don't know if it was biological.
Okay.
Sorry,
I
there's a
think
tantruming
Autumn-
child next to me. Go ahead.
I think Autumn is going to be very, very quiet throughout this entire process.
So you start salvaging the ship.
Mm,
I
Mips
would
would
say
still
rather-
oppose this.
Rather than directly salvage, see what is salvageable,
See what is
and then see
salvageable?
if it's
Okay.
worth salvaging.
Eva, roll me a fix, and then someone else roll me a notice, and we'll see kind of what you ascertain from this wreck.
That's my number.
Okay. And an 8. Okay. The fighter bays are surprisingly intact. The fighters themselves are a little dinged up, but you think
Oh,
you might be able to get one of them on the ship. Size-wise, they should fit in your cargo bay. Two,
I remember noticing them first in the
Mhm.
day
Two-
before.
You probably wouldn't be able to fit too much else in your cargo bay, but you could get both
Mhm.
the fighters in there. And those would sell for a decent amount.
Those, I feel like they'd be worth our time.
And
And those are self-contained units. They
Yep.
might be safer from biological standpoint of view.
Otherwise, the ship hull, things like that could be salvaged. Most of the electronics look like they were either damaged by something beforehand or damaged
Mhm.
by the kind of
Mm.
blooming of the ship. And otherwise, there's not a ton left to salvage. There's a few cargo containers, maybe. Let me roll here. Maybe 200 credits worth of just random supplies.
If we can get any like sealed salvage containers to fit our our remaining hold space, I'd probably say do that.
Yeah, you could probably pile them on, if anything. So 200 credits worth of random salvage, basically, like sealed containers. And then the ships themselves are going to go for, in their banged up state, they're going to go for about 1,100 credits each. So they're it's going to be hard finding a buyer for them, but
Mhm.
reasonably you should get at least 1,000 credits each for them. They're in pretty good shape.
Okay. I might be able to like up the condition of them a little bit more.
Right.
We know a
upscale them
spaceport.
bit and then-
Yeah, we know
Yeah.
a spaceport.
To
Jeez.
offload them on.
Yeah.
Although Will kind of wants to keep one.
You don't necessarily have a fighter bay to launch it from, unless you kind
Right.
of open
Yeah, I
the
know.
cargo bay and then launch it out that way.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
we-
know.
push it away.
Start our own caravan.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what you find on the ship. Again, there's no life signals. Those power readings fade away within about 15, 20 minutes. And the derelict is silent. And that's going to be where we end it today. Now, first off, I would like to personally apologize to Polish because I may have either misled or not misinformed, but like didn't give enough information during that. I know there was certain things that I did not explain fully within the session, so I apologize for that. But yeah, tell me, let's go backwards on the roles. Chabi, what was your favorite thing? Who are you and where can we find you next?
So my favorite thing might be Will's very last interaction with the AI, but not everyone's privy to that one. So one that everyone is privy to was probably the alien isolation moment of crawling through the ducts and having a monster smashing through things beside me, be like, time to go. Anyway, I am Chabi. I am Hallway Secrets here on Twitter, Hallway 7, or here on Twitch, Hallway 7 Secrets over on Twitter. I'm a hobbyist variety streamer. I do a few one-shots mostly here and there as far as the TTRPGs go, and you can find me here.
Nice. Jim.
Hi, my name is Ollie Gem. You can find me at YouTube under the name Ollie Gem. I do animation stuff like that. And my favorite part is has to be Luna being a crackhead during the whole thing about like, I'm about to go in that room. I don't care if I get shot.
I had my fingers crossed. You would go and talk.
Blame the other
Darkora.
party members. They stopped me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Darkora.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Darkora. I don't do a lot on Twitch, but you can find me on Twitter at Darkora with an underscore. I'm also at Darkora on Twitch. My favorite part this evening, I really don't know. Like my favorite like one little snapshot was Econornax's response, like his facial reaction when you said the thing was empty. Like that was absolutely gold. I love that so much. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
No worries. Polished.
Hi, I'm Polished. My favorite moment, honestly, it was just Econornax's reactions to a lot of things today. It was just like comedic gold in some parts. You can find me next on probably on my own channel, which is /Polished Cryptid. I can also be found on most of the things under that name, so pretty easy to get a hold of me. Yeah, definitely an interesting session today.
And I can relax.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Hmm.
That was really creepy. And Meeps is, well, Meeps is partially, to put it differently, Meeps' entire life was on the bottom, entire evolution was on the bottom of the food chain, so Meeps is rather a fan of escaping alive. So that was a good session for me.
You know, let's say any session you walk away from.
Yep, our life is payment good enough. My favorite moment was in first half. There was a particular moment, one of the creepy descriptions Jay has provided us with. You ended with, and that's it. And the music stopped right in the perfect moment. In the background. That's it, and silence. Perfect timing.
Oh, good.
And as for where you can find me next, well, on Tuesday here probably, playing Water. See you on
Hopefully
Tuesday.
more of us don't die. And I've been Jay. You can find me here in 3 hours, and where I will be a player trying to figure out why I was a criminal in my past life and why I have insomnia. You can also find me here on Tuesday, and you can also find me on Twitch and Twitter at AlienJays. My favorite part was kind of watching you all unfold the mystery of the ship. And I'm really interested at the way you figured things out. I'm not going to verify whether anything was correct or incorrect, but let's just say you surprised me with the way you detected this ship. It was very interesting. No promise on Tuesday with no characters dying. Well, I mean, promises. But yeah, I loved seeing everyone go through it. I'm very glad that the tension and the drama had a good balance, or at least I hope they did, because I didn't want it to be just Alien Isolation or Dead Space. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope next session provides to be less misinformed, because I'm going to be thinking about that all next week. And I hope everyone is having a good day out there. I know things are crazy right now, but as long as you maintain who you are and love the people around you, I think we're going to be okay. Take it away, Raven.
Thank you. That was a very fun session to watch. We're going to go on a raid here. We've got our raid cry in chat, which is "Curiosity is not enough to make me stupid," which rather enjoyed that line. And we're going to go raid Sigil Spotlight, or Sigil Entertainment, who's doing a Sigil Spotlight. It's a great group of creators. I've done some stuff with them in the past, highlighting indie tabletop creators and designers and all sorts of different things. So definitely give Sigil Entertainment a follow if you're not following them already, and be sure to check out those Sigil Spotlights because they're really, really cool. Yeah, as Jay said, we'll be back in about 3 hours for Animus Absentas, where I'll be DMing a game for a bunch of lovely people. And maybe we'll find out some more of the mystery of why the characters don't have their memories, and what's really going on the ship. So be sure to come back for that at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I will see you all then, and we're going to go on a raid.